What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Project Ozone Lite. Oh yeah, guys. So we've been having problems with running our draconic fusion crafting thing. Yeah, we've been having problems with that, with it keeping up with power. So I've tried switching over to the quantum entangloporter, and I've been watching the power here as we craft various things. So you see right now we're keeping up on power, not a problem. And then it drops down, and you see that we're draining 400,000 RF per tick. I believe that is the maximum that a quantum entangloporter will send. Yeah, unfortunately, I was kind of hoping we'd be able to get more out of that thing, but it seems like that's it. So we have the quantum entangloporters over here. This is the mechanism tesseract, essentially, or like the Ender IO dimensional transceiver. This is pulling a lot more power than I think we were able to pull before. So we're running into a couple of problems. One, the conduits that we're using here can only send, I think it was 55,000 RF per tick. Let's do energy conduits. Let's take a look here. These guys, no, they can do 100,000 RF per tick. So yeah, we are maxing out the amount of power that we can send through here. Since we have this connected on all 6 sides, we should be pulling 600,000. Is that what we're doing, or is it 400,000? Now I'm confused. Now I want to take a look at it again. I don't know if we'll be able to see this drop all the way down. Yeah, it's 400,000. So yeah, we are definitely maxing out on this thing and not the cables themselves. So there's some things we can do to try and increase our power supply here. Draconic Evolution has its own power system, which is something I think we might take a look at. The power, oh my goodness, I can't say the words here. The Draconic Evolution, not Applied Energistics, power system here. The energy network, this is pretty cool if you haven't checked this out before. I was just kind of introduced to this very recently. So there's multiple tiers, so you can start off like earlier on in the mod. Most mod packs have Draconic Evolution pretty late game anyway, but you can start off earlier on and then you can upgrade them to the different tiers. So you have crystal energy input outputs, right? So that's point to point, from point A to point B, that's it. So you have crystal relays where you can take an energy IO, you can put it to a relay, and then that relay can go to multiple points, right? And again, multiple tiers of these. And then there's also the crystal wireless, so you can connect an IO to a relay, the relay to many wireless, and the wireless themselves can do many wireless links. So the basic one does 16 links. I'm not sure. It says max wireless links 16 and max links 4. I'm not entirely sure what those numbers are, but I believe you can power 16 different machines with the basic one, 32 different ones with the Wyvern one, and 64 with the Draconic. So what makes that really awesome is you don't have to run power cables everywhere. It just does it wirelessly, which is really awesome. So there's a lot of information in the book here if you want to get familiar with it. You can also use energy IOs to send more power. Like, I think you can send power from the energy IO to the relay, and then the relay to the wireless. But if you want to send more power, it's like you want to do the IO to an IO, or IO to relay to IO, I think. Anyway, so it's going to require a little bit of crafting. We should take a look at these recipes real quick. We'll look at I think we just do energy, and that should show all of them. Yeah, so there's a basic energy relay crystal. Yeah, I think that splits into the IO. So you make the energy relay, you get 4 of those per craft, and then you can get 2 basic energy IOs from one, like that'll craft into 2 of those, right? And then you can also upgrade those to the next tier. So it looks like every craft gives you 4. So you get a whole lot of these things for not a lot of resources. Now the final tier, you do have to take 4 in a Draconic system and then upgrade it. You get 4 in return, and it requires a decent amount of stuff, but I think this is definitely what we're going to want to do. So since we're pretty late game as far as getting all these types of resources for Draconic Evolution, I think we're just going to go ahead and go straight to the Draconic tier. So I'll go ahead and craft up a bunch of these different pieces. We're going to need the special wrench, the crystal binder, and then all the Draconic relays, energy IOs, and wirelesses. So let me go ahead and grab some of those, make those parts, and then we will be right back. All right, guys, so I was in the middle of trying to make all the wireless stuff, and believe it or not, we ran out of blaze rods. We still don't have blaze rods, any way to farm those up. So here I am in the nether, in the one nether fortress where we found this one blaze spawner. I went ahead and I opened it up so these blazes have the maximum spawning space. We're just doing this vanilla style. But what I wanted to do was to make myself a Solium Dagger that's from Mystical Agriculture, so we can try and kill these blaze and try and get their drop, or I guess their souls, and hopefully get 4 of them so we can make a blaze seed and then never have to worry about blaze rods again. So the thing about that Solium Dagger, if you have a ranged weapon in your offhand, so let's grab this guy, we'll put that in our offhand. Well, main hand the Solium Dagger, we can just right click this, and that should still get these guys to drop their souls, which is going to be pretty awesome. Does not look like we got it that time. We don't have looting, we don't have any of that stuff on our Solium Dagger, but as long as we're holding that in our main hand, we still get the effect of it. It's similar to like if you shoot a gas with a bow and then quickly switch to a looting sword, you get the effect of looting even though your bow doesn't have it. So same kind of a deal here. Hopefully on this next spawn we'll be able to get one so I can show you guys. But I am positive that this does work. I've seen that work with other situations here. And yeah, there we go. Blaze chunk. Cool. So now that we can get these things, it's a 15% drop chance. That's why we didn't get it before. Now that we can get those, we can look at making blaze seed, which requires 4 of these guys. And that makes a blaze essence, and then blaze essence turns into blaze rods, which also has EMC. So I suppose we could turn nether stars into blaze rods, but I think it makes more sense just to have these available so we don't have to worry about doing that all of the time. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and farm up 3 more of the blaze chunks. We'll make a blaze seed, and then we will move on. Alright guys, so we can go ahead and start setting up some of the Draconic Evolution wireless stuff here. So currently we have our reactor. This is our main power, right? So we're making, what is it, 1.07 million RF per tick. It's a pretty decent amount, but we want to move this around wirelessly, and we want to try and move it around wirelessly using the Draconic Evolution thing. So we need these Draconic Evolution energy relays. So let's go ahead and pop those apart. So I think we can place these directly onto these guys. Now that's glowing red, so I assume that means it has power. So you can see that's only 6.4 million RF. All right, so what we want to do is connect that to some kind of a relay crystal. That way we can connect it to many other wireless crystals later on. So we can put the relay, how about right here? We'll put it right there. Okay, that seems pretty good. So now we take our crystal binder, and I do believe we have to shift right click on this one. So we can see that block position, and then we can right click on this one over here. All right, so now we're transferring the power from the IO over to this guy, right? It goes through walls. It's only based on distance away. So now that we have that set up, we can start hooking up wireless energies. Okay, so over here, we probably want to set up the wireless energy in this general area. I'm not sure where the exact center is. Maybe we should try and figure that out a little bit. Would be like right here. This one. Okay. Anyway, so we can put a wireless energy here, like up above, right there. Seems fine. All right, we don't need these anymore. So now we need to connect to the relay that we just set up. I pop in through here. All right. So we do a shift right click on this one. Whoops. Don't mean to go downstairs. Shift right click on this one. And then we can right click over onto the wireless energy. Okay, so again, we're transferring power from the IO to the relay. The relay is highlighting green. The relay is transferring power over to this wireless thing. So we can connect a whole bunch of these wireless relays to a whole lot of these wireless energies to the wireless relays, right? So we can have one in every corner. We could go up and down. I think the distance between these can be like 64 blocks. And then these can link to machines 64 blocks away. So like you can do pretty extensive wireless connections for power using this setup. Okay, so now we want to deal with this one. So we'll shift right click on this guy. And now that can link to all of our machines that are getting power. So we can get rid of all of the Ender IO power conduit here. Now, I don't know if this is going to speed things up or if it's going to be about the same. But this wireless energy is definitely pretty cool. And if you haven't seen it before, it's definitely worth checking out. So let's go ahead and pop all these guys off. Now, if this doesn't speed it up, I have another method of getting us going here. But I just want to try this out anyway with you guys. for those of you who might not have seen this before. So we have no power conduits there. And then we'll get rid of all the ones over here as well. And down to there. All right, so no power conduits are connected to these guys at all. So we are selected the energy here. You can see that that one's highlighted green. So all we got to do is just right click on everything that we want to accept power. And it says in the thing that the devices are linked, right? So we can also do that. Oh, can't receive energy on the side. Maybe we have to click them on the back or the sides. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, we can connect up to 64 devices with this thing. It's pretty impressive. All right, so all of this is now getting its power directly from that relay. I'm sorry, the wireless energy right here. And if that's not enough, we could swap that out with another relay and then make the IOs on each one of these things. And those send more power. That might end up being how we do it. I don't know. We'll see how this goes for right now. So let's go ahead and try crafting up. How about some wyvern cores? I don't know. Let's do like 4. So the items will go over here and we'll see if like that seems to power up any faster or about the same or slower. That might actually be slower. It's really hard to see, but you can also see particles flowing from where the energy is being sent to the machine that's receiving it. So you have like a visual indication of what machine's using power, how much power they're using, etc. Right? Yeah, I almost feel like doing the IOs directly on each one of these is probably going to get us there faster. We could also take a look over on this thing and how the power is doing while that thing's charging up. So it's going to take a second. We got to wait for this thing to be almost done. We can take a look and see how the power looks on our reactor over here. You can also tell when things are using power, the beam to the different items, like as sections use power, this will light up and you'll be able to see that power is being sent. Okay, so we are sending 70,000 RF per tick. That's a lot less power than we were doing before. So this is pretty much good for setting up automated machines and things like that. The wireless power definitely does not send as much power. I would like to try swapping this one out with a relay. So we'll do a relay to a relay and then use the IOs on each one of those things up there and see if we can get more power headed to them. I think that's definitely a thing that we should check out. All right, guys, so I went ahead and I made a bunch more of the draconic relays. I broke them in half and then I placed them on the back of our injectors here. I did move the item conduit, so it is on the front side now because the back side is being taken up by these guys. They do have an internal power as we've seen before, and they are currently filling up through our relay. So now we have the IO to a relay, and then to these guys, right? So yeah, as they fill up, the little lines go away. You don't really see them anymore, which is great. Yeah, it looks like these guys are all full. So now we get to check out doing the wyvern once again. And hopefully these are going to fill up way faster full of power and get the job done. I've never tried it this way before. I assume this is going to work pretty well, though. We'll see. So... aha! Yeah, I haven't really experienced this mod too much, and yeah, I was kind of failing there. And then I ended up going back through the book, and the thing that I missed the first time reading through here is that it was talking about you can right click on a crystal, will display its GUI, and then where there's something in here about you can shift right click on it to change its mode. So it says IO mode output. So the way this works is we're outputting from the energy network, and the other one that we have over in the reactor is called input. So we're inputting into the energy network, right? So that can be a little confusing the way you think about it. So now I have set all of these things on here to be outputs. We're outputting energy, so we can right click and link these up. Yeah, now they're going to be getting power. Okay. Yep, that was my mistake here. It took me a little bit of time to kind of figure out what I was doing wrong. It turns out I missed a little section about shift right clicking and setting these things. All right, so now they should all be linked up. All the wireless power should be working. And yeah, we'll get these crazy laser beams every time something happens here, but I'm kind of interested to see when these things are completely full, how long it takes for this process to complete. Since each one of those is like its own little battery, it has power that it can't supply. Is that going to be faster or slower than what we were doing before? It seems pretty fast. I don't know if that's the fastest that we can go. It might be better if we have some kind of a large power storage over here and use the cryo-stabilized flux ducts on the back. But either way, we have the Draconic Evolution power supply going to the Draconic Evolution crafters. So I think that's still kind of cool. We do have these lasers that we'll have to see. All the ones that are being used anyway are going to have the lasers as we've seen before. But it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Once they get fully charged, they'll just kind of appear a little bit and then go away. I think that's going to be perfectly fine. So yeah, the wireless energy, pretty neat stuff. I do like that way of getting the power around. And again, we can use like this wireless energy crystal to power our machines that we have over here, right? Instead of having to run the conduits underneath all of them. Well, I guess down here, instead of having to run the conduits underneath all of these guys, yeah, we could set them on the floor if we wanted to and just have a wireless power thing connected to every single thing that requires power around here. I think that's kind of cool. All right, so I thought about it for a little bit longer. How about we just have the relay going to one Draconic Evolution IO crystal, and we can either have that go into flux ducts, or I tried putting some of our vibrant capacitor banks here. So we are collecting about 900,000 RF per tick, and I do believe it can output that per connection. Yeah, this might be a pretty fast way of doing it. We'll have to figure out how to get the power up here as well. We could also run like a cryo-stabilized or something up here. Or maybe just having cryo-stabilized ran and just one of these energy connection things going right to that. That's another option that I haven't considered yet. But I'll be playing around with this a little bit more because I don't think we really need to do it this way. That might be kind of overkill for what we're trying to do here. But let's try doing one of these, and we'll just throw one of these guys up top and see how that seems to work for us. Yeah, we'll grab some power out of the system from here. We'll be getting a lot less because I don't think our nuclear reactor, our big reactor, extreme reactor is going to be able to keep up with all that power that we're sending. But yeah, we were sending like 1,200, or I guess 1.2 million RF per tick right now. Yeah, that thing's empty. Okay, so now we'll just be sending the residual power we have stored up in these things. But yeah, that's a little bit better. Only two separate beams. And again, like I said, I think we could probably swap these out with cryo-stabilized flux ducts, which might even be better yet. Well, this is the design I eventually ended up with. It's not the prettiest thing. We would have to have another one of those IOs like over here and then not have this little link connecting if we wanted these things separated so we didn't have that little link, but you know, whatever. I think that's going to be fine. So the final way we have this set up is we just have the the energy IO connected to the cryo-stabilized flux duct. As we saw, this thing was transferring like 900,000 RF per tick, which is more than the quantum entangled porter, which was only like 400,000, right? And way more than the dimensional transceiver. So even though it doesn't seem like it's like super fast, it definitely is faster than what we were using before. And then it doesn't matter which slot the items go into, we'll have the infinite RF per tick going to each one of the injectors. So yeah, I think that's going to be pretty good. I also swapped this side over for the same setup as well. So yeah, we just have one guy down here. We have our relay in the center and then the other guy over there. Now this looks a lot more clean underneath without all the different power cables and the multiple connections to the many faces and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. In fact, we can clean this up a little bit more now that I'm looking at this. Now that we have a little bit more room, yeah, we can bring this out, bring this up, and then over like so. Actually, I guess that looks pretty bad, doesn't it? Is there a way to solve that? Maybe if we do that, does that look better? Maybe that looks like a little bit better. Then we can get rid of all these extra cables. Anyway, so we can make things look a little bit more clean under here. Just a little bit of redstone now, really. And then the item, yeah, the chest for where the items go in. So I think we're going to kind of hold off on doing any more of this stuff today. We've been talking about it and messing with this for quite some time. I'm a little tired of doing it. So let's go ahead and go to our quest book here and let's look at something else that we can do. So I kind of want to start looking towards making the Draconic Staff of Power, this guy. So this thing does require, I have the power. this thing does require a lot of crafting. So let's take a look at the Draconic Staff power. So one thing that I really want from this is that'll get rid of the need for us to have a sword, a shovel, and a pickaxe. We don't need those anymore. This thing will completely outdo any of these that we have, and then we can put our mattock somewhere else, like in our ender pouch or something. Like, we can free up a bunch of spaces on our hotbar, and then we can always leave our advanced dislocator on there and maybe other various things. I'm constantly having to swap things around and try and make room for what I want. Anyway, so yeah, the Draconic Staff of Power. So that is under here, right off the Draconic tablet into this quest, right? So the Draconic Staff of Power is an extreme crafting recipe, and it does require quite a lot of things, as you guys can see here. The main things that it requires is the Draconic Sword, Draconic Pickaxe, and Draconic Axe. So if we do Draconic and we search for Draconic, we should be able to find these items here. So the axe, for instance, requires us to have one Draconic Energy Core, Awakened Core, and then 2 Awakened Draconium. I think all the recipes are very, very similar when we take the Wyvern version and upgrade them. And then finally the sword, yeah, it's all the same recipe. We just need the Wyvern versions. Now we do already have the Wyvern sword. We made that previously. So we should be able to make the Wyvern pickaxe. We have everything in there except for the diamond pickaxe. So that's a pretty easy thing. And we will make this guy. Okay, so that one's done. And then finally we need the axe itself. And that is, of course, going to require a diamond axe. This, and that. Okay, so we have all 3 of the pieces ready to go. That is correct, isn't it? Let me just double check real quick. Yeah, so sword, pickaxe, and then axe. All right, so now we have those. We need to get the pieces ready together. A little bit more fusion crafting. Why not? So we need 6 awakened, 3 awakened cores. All right, so we got 3 awakened cores, 6 of these. They'll be split into 2 different pieces. What else do we need to complete this? And then we need 3 Draconic Energy Cores, which we do not have crafted. So I'll go and craft those now. Again, that should be pretty quick crafting now that we have these things set up over here. And it goes fairly quick. I don't know. Can that be faster? Maybe. Maybe if we had more power being generated than the 1.07 million RF per tick from our big reactor, extreme reactor, we might be able to do something here. But for right now, I think that's going to work out just fine. So I'll let these craft up. I'll go ahead and do the 3 crafts to get ourselves the Draconic versions, and then we'll be back, guys. Alright guys, so the awakened tools are made, or I guess the Draconic tools are made. I started laying out all the pieces that we can craft and that we have in the system already. Awakened cores are pretty quick to craft, and so are these Draconic Energy Cores, so we got those laid out. So this is our recipe. So we got a good portion of things done here. We do need a dark axe and a dark pickaxe, so let's go ahead and make those guys. The ender we have quite a few of. So there's a dark pick and a dark axe, and then ender we have the ender we have a lot of these swords. So we just got a new one in the system here. So as we've been collecting these, like, they have different empowered states, they have different amounts of power on them, and they start taking up a lot of space. And every once in a while I'll take them all out, which I just did a little bit ago, let them go in my inventory and fill up full of power. That way they'll all stack together with others of the same type of empowered. And yeah, there we go. There's another one that goes into this stack here. So let's take one of those 120s that we have, and we'll use that for the ender. We're getting these from our loot bags, I do believe. So sword, pickaxe, axe. Is that how that goes? Yeah, sword, pickaxe, axe. And then we need the atomic disassembler. This is a thing we have not made yet, but it is pretty easy to make. So we might even have some of the parts already in the system. We do. What do I just get in my inventory here? Conductive iron essence. That's pretty random. Okay, so we need an atomic alloy and a refined iron. All of these we have on auto craft. And then refined iron. I'm sorry, refined obsidian. Okay, so we have those, and then we need an energy tablet. And that's another pretty easy craft. Yeah, so all of those things, very, very simple. Okay, so if I tell it to move it, there it is. Atomic disassembler, and that'll just charge up because it's in my inventory in our wireless charger. Okay, so this guy goes there. All right, so we got half. We got like this half done, right? So we need flux infused pickaxe, axe, and sword. Flux infused pickaxe, axe, and sword. So that means we need the flux infused obsidian rods, which is an obsidian rod plus these things. Now, some of these might have EMC. The flux do, these do not. The obsidian rod does, these do not. And okay, so we're probably not going to be able to do much here. So we have the flux infused ingots. Let's go ahead and make some obsidian rods. So I assume we're going to need 6 for the 3 tools. Okay, and then we need to turn those into these, which is diamonds plus redstone. So we need 6 diamonds. 6 of those, and then, I don't know, was it 30 redstone? That seems about right. Okay, so we can go ahead and throw those into our machines down here. So we'll do 30 redstone right there, and then we'll put our diamonds over here. And unfortunately, there's really no way for us to speed this up. Like, I think these are fully augmented. These already have the highest resonant version. There's really nothing much else we can do other than these thermal meat eaters, which we were gonna look at making cryothium for in here, but we haven't gotten to that just yet. Okay, so we are losing power on here. That's right, we are. So down below, let's pop this. We do have a dimensional transceiver here. That's kind of a problem. So let's see, we had the energy, and then we had ender fluid. I don't remember where the ender fluid is for. Anyway, let's get rid of the dimensional transceiver. We're going to replace that with a quantum entangloporter for right now. Then we'll probably hook up the wireless power here in just a little bit. So energy, we want, yeah, we want output on all the different sides. And then we'll say auto eject on for the energy. Yeah, that should be, oh, I also have to set the thing, reactor power set. Okay, so now everything should have power once again. These machines definitely run slower when they start running lower in power. So it might have gone a little bit faster had I had that hooked up properly. But there we go. Now it's good to go. All right, so back over here, we want to do these guys, and we want like 6 of those. Well, there's 3. I guess that makes sense. If we want 6 of these rods, we're going to need 12 diamonds. All right, so I was kind of close there. I just wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing, I suppose. All right, so there's 6 more diamonds. Let's come down here. We'll do this again. Hopefully it'll go a little bit faster this time now that we got full power. Yeah, that's a little bit faster. It's not like crazy fast, but it's a little bit faster. We might end up putting the wireless thing in here like I was talking about, although we've seen that it can't really keep up with like crazy amounts of power. How much are these using here? 750 RF. I think that would be more than fine for those to keep up with. So yeah, I'll look at swapping over these machines in this room probably to that wireless stuff, and then get rid of that quantum entangloporter down below. So now we should be able to do the flux diamond things. The rest of these rods, there we go. There's 3 more of them, perfect. Anyway, so here is the flux infused pickaxe. Now I want to make sure we're making the right ones. Sword, axe, and pickaxe. Okay, so we need to make an axe. All right. We are out of those, so let's grab some stars. We'll just go ahead and EMC for some of these things. So we want to make these. Oop, there's a star. There's a little bit more of the stuff. All right, so that's perfect. So pickaxe, axe, and then sword is this one. All right, I guess we made one too many of these flux infused obsidian rods. Not really that big of a deal, right? All right, so we can place these down here, and I think it was pickaxe, sword, axe. I'll double check. They have to be in the correct order. Cool, so we're missing one item here, and that is the red morning star. Yeah, that's 7 million EMC for this. So that is all the red matter tools now. So that's red matter plus dark matter hammer, which is more dark matter and diamonds. So all those combine into this thing, which is pretty expensive, and that goes here. Let me go and craft that monstrosity real quick. It's a little bit of crafting, and then we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, so here we go. Red Morning Star, and that has 21 attack damage. That is pretty good, to be completely honest, but we're not going to be using it. Nope, that's just going straight into this recipe here, so we can make ourselves the Draconic Staff of power. Whoo, boy. That's the last one of the draconic items that we are in need to make. Oh, I guess we got a quest complete for making the Philosopher's Morning Star, the Red Morning Star. Let's go take a look at that quest section real quick. What's this about? We have all these quests too to claim. Okay, so yeah. That looks like that's all done. So let's go and claim some of these. Let's do bottom loot chests today. So bottom one, we got so many of these. We're gotta get something good, especially since we're claiming the Project E quest today, right? Huh. Yeah, we definitely need to be getting something good out of these. I want to see something crazy, OP. I know we already got one of the best items already, but I know there's still more out there. So let's claim that one too for the Staff of Power. I have the power quest complete. Okay, so let's pop these things. Let's see what we get here. So we get a spider charm. We get a charm of night vision. Allows you to see in the dark. Ultra rare reward. Is that like expensive? What's the recipe on this thing? So that's Superium Essence, Golden Carrots, and then a Blank Charm. That, I don't know why that's an ultra rare reward. That doesn't seem super expensive. Okay, so we got mirror photovoltaic cells. All of them. Okay, so that's pretty cool. If we want to make some more of the solars. Some viaducts. We get pulsating iron. We get a diamond furnace. And finally, cryostabilized flux duct. Okay, well, the cryostabilized are still pretty good. We don't have an automation set up to make those. And I don't know if we have a way to make cryothium yet in order to make those as well. But this guy right here, this is the ultimate prize because that cleans up our hotbar. And we can go into the config here and change a whole lot of settings on this thing. Now, this has upgrades too, just like our other armor that we have not upgraded yet. So if we hold control over it, you can see we can hold more RF capacity, make it dig faster, bigger holes that it can dig in the AoE. We can make it do more damage and a greater attack AoE. So there's a lot of cool things that we can do with this thing. But right away, you can see that this has a 60 attack damage without any upgrades. 60 attack damage. That Red Morning Star from Project D was 25. This thing is a beast compared to that, right? All right. So we need to upgrade this. We need to upgrade these different armors. We'll probably be looking at that next time. But guys, we finally got ourselves the full Awakened Draconium set, including the Staff of Power. Feels good. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on the episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.